Episode 2.5. Let's go.
Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. This is TR3LAND with your favorite host, 3, aka Trey Corleone. And man, I'm excited to get back in it with y'all, man. I think we finally building some sense of consistency, building a little rhythm. And I think I'm slowly but surely getting a hang on at least how I want to do this part of the show, this segment, the sports, the nightly news and things like that. So, I'm a little excited about that. And also, before we start talking or anything, man, I gotta show my gratitude every time this camera is on, because like I said, if nobody was listening and nobody was tuning in, there would be no reason to do this. So, like I said, I appreciate the people that go out their way, because I know everybody got jobs, people sick, people got a lot of things going on. And my friends and family, they still finding time to, click on my video and give me a little piece of game of how I can improve or how I can get better. So I don't want anybody to think that I'm taking that for granted or anything. So I wanted to say that first and foremost. Now, secondly, what I want to talk about is, I guess the older I get, I try to, take what I say more serious. And what I mean by that, if I say I'm gonna do something, I want to do it. I don't think I've always been the best person at that, but I feel like I've been trying to make a conscious effort to be a man of my word the older that I've, gotten. So speaking of that, I did promise y'all that we were going to have big surprises, episode 3 and episode 4. But I feel like everybody has either witnessed or gone through or realized some of these unforeseen circumstances that's going down in life right now. I don't really have to say it, but it's a strong possibility that things can get pushed back with that, So just to let y'all know, everything is still everything. And we're still gonna have big guests on for episode 3 and episode 4. It's just got pushed back a few days. That's all it is. So I'm just gonna call this episode 2.5. Drop this tonight, and we're still gonna drop episode 3 Saturday night, and then episode 4 Tuesday night. So we're still right on track. Just had to push back a few days. All right, man. Let's get into what we're gonna talk about tonight, man. And let's start off with my Lakers. I just want to go ahead and just get that out the way. As you can tell, we lost again. We played the Kings last night. Well, it's midnight now, so technically 2 nights ago. And we had a strong lead for a long time. I think it was 1 point in the game in the second quarter that we were up 14 points. I'm trying to see the real huge difference. The huge difference was the third quarter. They outscored us 40-23, and they ended up beating us 125 to 116. The fourth quarter was almost even too, 26-24. So yeah, it was really that third quarter run was really the difference maker. And we're back on a 2-game losing streak. I'm not as disappointed with that loss as I was with the one in Memphis. I feel like if we had Anthony Davis, this would have been a way different game. But some of these teams, like these these teams that are like 10 games under 500, like these teams that like we just regular, I just feel like it doesn't, if we have 2 perennial all-stars playing, we should be winning. Like, it's only a couple games I feel like we should be losing, but it only looks like that on paper. Your stars got to actually come. Yeah, stars actually have to show up and play, you know? And, oh, man, we got to talk about Russell Westbrook. Man, he keeps my stress up. Not gonna lie. Looking at his stats, I don't want to just go straight to the field goal percentage, but, I mean, he was only a -7 plus minus. Looking at he didn't have that many turnovers. He only had 1 turnover. It's just like, man, he plays 37 minutes. It only goes 2 for 14, 0 for 5 from 3, 12 rebounds. Yeah, we needed that. He led the team in rebounding. They're not going to bring that up in the media though. But he led us in rebounding. Gave us a few assists. You know, he's going to hustle regardless. That's what you're going to get from Russ, 110 regardless of what's going down. I just really want him to start finding his rhythm, man, because I know how this Laker media can get, man. They'll really have you doubting yourself as a basketball player and even as a person almost, man. It gets serious. And like I was bringing this up to some of my friends that we basically ran out of town our last couple point guards, man. And I feel like LeBron is the only one in the past few years that's played that point guard position and like played it up to expectations and was like loved. Cause we ran Lonzo Ball out of town. Now he is a walking 15, 16 a game. He's a 40-point three-point shooter. We love to have that. And basically a 3-and-D. Like he doesn't play the 3, but like he's a wing defender. He guard 1 through 3. And like we would love to use that. And Dennis Schroeder's playing okay, but you know, that's just a point that I was noticed. Well, another thing that I saw, Malik Monk continues to play well. Continues 7 for 13, 6 for 9 from the 3-point line, 22 points. LeBron keeps on being LeBron, man. I don't know how long we just sit on his shoulders like this, but based on the post-game interview that I saw with him, I don't think he's too much worried. He said something to the extent of he's been having a franchise on his back since he was 18 years old, 20 years. So he said he's like a little accustomed to the weight, you know. So I don't think he's worried about it, but I know he's saying that to the media, but I know he's looking forward to having AD back and having some of that load off, because it definitely gets tiring doing it night after night after night. And it's one thing if you're doing it night after night after night and, you know, it's getting y'all somewhere, but like he's doing these legendary performances and it's like, you know, for what? We can't even really cherish it or celebrate it because we can't get a streak going. But I don't know. We're right here at 21-21, right at 500. And I want to stay optimistic about this season, man. I really do. I really want to stay optimistic, but we have to make a move. And it's going to be a tough love move. I don't know, because, you know, I've started to like almost all the players on this team, no matter how much I get onto them. You know, going into the season, I feel like this is going to be one of my favorite Laker teams that we've ever had. But, you know, we've never gotten healthy. We haven't played one game with our full roster. So, you know, and it's mid-season. You know, it's been 42 games and we still haven't played a full game with our full team. But it's like, we got to pull the plug now because it's like we don't really have a lot of more wiggle room to like try to figure this out. So I just want to talk about a couple trade rumors. Buddy Hield is a name that I've been hearing in the Laker trade rumor mill. I've been hearing about Miles Turner, and the other person I've been hearing about is Jerian Grant. Now, another thing that I've heard is that the Lakers are active in the trade market. I feel like I've been hearing they've been calling a lot of teams trying to get some type of package together to enhance their roster. But these are the three names that I continue to hear about. And I know the Buddy Hield rumor started surfacing a lot when we played the Kings at our house a few weeks ago. And I guess the big deal that was made of it was that Jeannie Buss, the owner of the Lakers, you know about the Buss family and everything. She's known for, staying in that skybox, and kind of, looking over the building and everything, just being the boss and the orchestrator. But for some reason, about that day, she came all the way down from the skybox, all the way down to the floor, and she had like a full 10 to 15 minute conversation with Buddy Hield during shoot around. And I think Rob Pelinka was right behind her. And I feel like that could have easily been considered tampering, but they let it go. And a lot of people made a big deal about that. Been hearing about Miles Turner too. I'm not really sold on him. I feel like Miles Turner would be the exact player we trade for and not produce. I just don't see it. He's not a huge shot blocker. He's huge. He's like 7 foot. Think he can shoot it a little bit, but I don't know. If he's having motor issues and motivational issues in Indiana, I just don't think he's ready for those Laker lights. I just don't think he does. And I don't see him helping us move the needle, I guess, as far as making a real improvement. And the last one is the one that I feel like I want the most, and that's Jerian Grant. I don't think he's, the best basketball player in the world, but as far as fits for us, the main thing that I feel like we're lacking as far as what the other elite teams have that we don't have, we have the superstars, we have the front cast, we have the superstars to compete with anybody, but we need those wing defenders. We need those exchangeable wing defenders that can guard 1 through 3, almost 1 through 4 simultaneously, that, you can play high pressure, man-to-man defense with all types of screens, and it won't matter because you can switch, and the next person switching on is a good defender too. And that's really the name of the game with the NBA. And I feel like Jerian Grant is your prototype 3-and-D wing, man. He's made I know he won Most Improved a few years ago, but he's made improvement every year. He's added that 3 ball. He's a freak athlete too. And he's like 6'9.5", 6'10". He can run. He doesn't need the ball, to be productive. He'll just go get boards, just do all the little stuff, but he can actually score. He will give you 20 points, So I feel like that's the guy that we should go for. If we can somehow get him without really breaking up our core or breaking up our team, as far as keeping the big 3, keeping Monk and Reaves and Ariza, and somehow just add him, man, I really feel like we can make that run for the championship, man. I really feel like he's our missing piece. And, I really hope the Lakers kind of I feel like they need to quit being shy with that trigger button and just go ahead and use the deal that they know is going to work. I know they're kind of being timid about who they want to trade for chemistry issues. They don't want what happened last year, the Kyle Kuzma, that happened to THT or somebody. They had Kyle Kuzma in the trade rumor mills all year, and his game suffered. But we gotta win championships. We gotta win championships. That's the only Like, that's the only thing we do. Like, anything other than that is just fool's gold, I guess. So, like, all these other antics and just, like, keeping players because we barely had them or it's disrespectful. Like, at the end of the day, this is our standard. Like, we win championships or it's a disappointing season. And I know Pelinka knows that. I know Jeannie knows that. So, like I said, whatever needs to be done, THT, first, second round pick, maybe DeAndre Jordan. I don't know, man. We need to piece something together. And the last thing that I'm gonna say about Jerry Grant is that he used to play with Russell Westbrook too. That's another thing that is getting swept under the rug. Him and Russell Westbrook, they formed like a great friendship in Oklahoma City. So they're already gonna come in and have like some type of chemistry and some type of in syncness. And, you know, that may even help Russell start, you know, playing better, you know, having a sense of familiarity. Or, you know, it's one thing LeBron or AD saying, man, I got your back type thing. But it's another thing to have a guy on your team you know for sure has your back. Like, you know, you don't have to not have to look behind you after you airball. You know this dude got you. You know he gonna go through the foxhole for you type thing. So I feel like Jerry Grant is a no-brainer. I also feel like if the Pistons say that he's tradable and they want a deal, I feel like we should answer whatever deal they give us as long as they're not like trying to like get out and like break our core. But yeah, I think that's all I really gotta say about the Lakers, man. You know, I don't really have too much to say about the Kings. Nobody really just killed De'Aaron Fox, 29 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. He gonna score. He's gonna score. Empty stats though, like, you know, it doesn't really do anything for the winning. But yeah, I think that's about it with my Lakers. All right, y'all. The next game I want to talk about is the Brooklyn Nets and the Bulls 2 nights ago. I stand on what I've been saying about the Bulls, and let me fully explain myself. When I say they're a cute team, I don't really mean that. Okay, I do mean that in a degrading way, but basically what I'm saying is that I feel like they're a great team built for the regular season. LaVine's gonna get a lot of buckets in the regular season. You know, same thing with DeRozan. You know, Zoe. You know, like I knew over this summer I was like, man, they're gonna be an exciting team. It's gonna be like a lot of highlights and things like that. And I was like, I wouldn't even be surprised that they took some teams off guard and they had some big games where like they won. Now, obviously, they exceeded my expectations. You know, I didn't expect them to be number 1, number 2 in the East or whatnot, but I still stand on them being, a quote-unquote cute team. I don't see them beating off any contenders in the playoffs. And, like I said, with these playoff matchups, you could break down X's and O's. You can break down screens, switches, defensive schemes, and everything. But I really feel like when you get deep in the playoffs, it all comes down to like the gap between your best player and your second best player and the other team's best player and their second best player. I feel like that made all the difference in the world in the finals last year. Like the Suns played great basketball. They had a great scheme. They had a lot of wing defenders to guard Giannis. On paper, it was like, I think it ended up going 6 games, but on paper, it was supposed to go, 7, almost the distance. But I'm going to have to clarify that. I'm going to have to really clarify that, whether that was game 6 or 7 that series ended in. But I felt like the main difference in that series was like the big gap between Giannis and Devin Booker. Like when you actually realize that, okay, like Booker kind of has a ways to go. Like Giannis started separating himself, Of course, Mike Budenholzer, he switched up a lot of things. Like, they stopped running the same offensive scheme and really let Giannis start dominating. But, like, yeah, he started showing that he was the best player on the floor. I don't want to get too much off topic because I've been trying to make a point of making these shows a little bit shorter, and I'll drift off, and, you know, I love talking about sports, man. But, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. The main difference in the playoffs is going to come down to your two best players and the gap between it. And, you know, LaVine and DeRozan, they're a great duo. Right now in the regular season, I think they're rated the best duo in the league. I think Harden and KD just recently surpassed them as the highest scoring duo in the league. But it's not by that much. You know, like, I think LaVine and DeRozan, like, they're the leading duo in fourth quarter points. It's like all type of crazy stuff. And it's all stuff that, like, I mean, they exceeded my expectations a little bit, but, like, something that I would expect from them in the regular season. But in the playoffs, I just don't see it. Like, I see teams like Heat, teams like even the Celtics. I see teams like, of course, the Nets, the Milwaukee. Like, those premier teams, I really see them, like, really beating down the Bulls like a sweep. Like, you know, like, kind of like, all right, y'all thought y'all were there, but y'all not quite there. And that's really exactly what the Nets did to them tonight, man. Like, well, a couple nights ago. First half, it was looking like it was going to be a great game that it may go to overtime. They were going back and forth. DeRozan was getting to his spot. You know, I love when it's like semi-transition. And he kind of like gets that ISO on the left wing, and he kind of, you know, backs his guy down. He guy has the whole shot clock to himself, but like, yeah, he was getting into his bag. You know, LaVine was hitting a couple shots. They were getting up and down, and I was going back and forth with my friends. I was like, man, it's gonna be a long night if they keep letting DeRozan walk into his spots like that, you know, and it was a high-scoring first quarter. Like, the first quarter, it was 38-31. But, man, even the second quarter was a little better. Chicago fought back in the second quarter. They won the second quarter 29-24. And I think that's what kind of kept it close. But, man, that third quarter, bro, that's what I'm saying. This score is not doing this game any justice. The Nets won 138-112. I promise to God, it was a moment in the game that they were up 40 points. They were up like 38 points, and it happened in like 5 minutes. It happened in like 5 minutes. The Nets kind of just like turned up the tempo, and it wasn't just on offense. It was like on defense too. Like, you know, they had their big three out there, but it seemed like whatever other two guys, like, they would have Kyrie, James, and KD out there. But it seemed like whatever two other guys they had out there, they were like Energizer bunnies, man. They were all over the place, diving on the floor. Even it was like a bit like BG, like Blake Griffin. Like, they were all over the place, man. And, like, you know, they were getting little stops and everything. And then, like, KD was facilitating, Harden was facilitating, Kyrie was making the extra pass. So, like, they were getting the role players, like, kind of hyped up. They were getting, like, little dump down layups, you know, little fast break layups. Patty was hitting. Patty led the, I thought he led the game in plus minus. He had a plus minus of plus 33. But, man, he was shooting the pill off the ball, man. But, yeah, man, whoever else was out there, they were hustling. And, like, man, I'm not going to say I was impressed from the Nets because, like, I kind of feel like I know what they can do when they all lock in. But, like, man, I had my mouth open for a little bit, you know. And James Harden, he did his thing, man. Like, that was one of those old James Harden games where, like, I really felt like he was just toying with the team, especially in that third quarter. He had 25 points, 16 assists, and 7 rebounds. And I know for a guy, he could have easily had like 37, 38. He was really just going out his way to get everyone involved, man. And I really felt like that was a fun game for them. KD, like, was really just look at KD's shooting splits, man. 27 points. He was 7 for 10 from the field. He only took 10 shots. 3 for 4 from the 3-point line, 10 for 11 from the free throw line. Like, he just doesn't miss. 9 assists, 2 steals, only 1 turnover. KD's that man. But like, he only played 30 minutes, bro. He only played 30 minutes, man. But yeah, like every shot that KD hit was kind of like an eruption. It was like a real loud 27 points too. But I guess the thing that I was gonna say about Kyrie had 9 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. He was plus 10 and plus minus. But don't take, like, I saw the game, and I was talking to my friend Malik about this this morning. I said, I kind of noticed what Kyrie is doing. He's not trying to rush himself in. And, like, you know, Steve Nash is not going to let him rush himself in. But, like, you know, he's purposely not taking threes. Like, he took 3 3-pointers. He took 3 3-pointers last night, right? I promise you, it was like 5 or 6 that he was like wide open on, that I know on a regular situation he would not think twice about. But, you know, he's making an extra pass. He's using himself as a decoy, and, like, you know, if it's there, he's gonna take it. And that's like, that's a great situation to be in when you know you're a superstar of a team and you don't feel pressured to have to come back, you know, and be you. This is the same situation Clay's in right now, you know. You know, both of their teams are in great positions and have great players that can, like, fill the void, you know, until they get right. But, man, I saw the Nets put the clamps on the Bulls. They outscored them 39-19 in the third quarter. And, like, yeah, that was just the difference. You get outscored by 20 in a quarter, is going to be rough. And, yeah, that ended up being the main difference. But I guess the last thing that I want to talk about with the Nets is that article that I read about Kyrie would be able to play if the Nets paid a fine. If the owners, the general manager, Sean Marks, if they all watched that game that I watched last night, 2 nights ago against the Bulls, and they saw, like, how scary and good they can be, and Kyrie's not even close to, like, in full form. Nick Claxton didn't play. Joe Harris is not playing. Joe Harris is like a career 39% three-point shooter. That's even more spacing. Like, if you see that and you see this, like, when I looked at the numbers of how much they would have to pay to get Kyrie back on the floor, I really felt like it was a no-brainer. Like, this guy is a gamer. He's box office. It's like a win-win bringing him back. You know, I really don't want to get into the politics about it and whatnot, but I feel like it's a no-brainer to bring him back if you can stay safe. Key word. So I think that's the last I want to talk about with the Nets. Now I want to get into the game that I watched tonight, which was between the Bucks and the Warriors. These are the 2 best teams in the league, if you want to be honest. This is defending champs and basically the championship favorites for this year. So I was really expecting a game, but that's not what we got. It was pretty much a blowout this whole game. I saw Giannis make some ridiculous plays. His jump shot is looking smoother and smoother. Like I said, the Bucks are champions. They got guys they got role players that know exactly what they're supposed to do, when to do it, and what spots they're supposed to be in. They share the ball. You know, the Bucks are a great team. So are the Warriors. It's just Warriors were just out of sync tonight, man. You know, they only scored 17 points in the second quarter. They got outscored 17-40 in the second quarter, and yeah, that was the difference. And 21-37 in the first. So they were down by like 40 points in the first half. To be real. But yeah, Curry is still in a slump, and you know, still feel like he's gonna be all right, man. It's not like a Russell Westbrook slump. Like he's gonna be okay, man. And it was just another rhythm game for Clay. Let me look at his numbers. He had 11 points. 3 for 11. Like I said, he's going to be all right. But, yeah, that's all I really saw from that Golden State and Milwaukee game. What really wasn't just too much. It was just like a lot of Giannis, a lot of Bobby Portis, Chris Middleton making tough shots, and like the Warriors basically packing it in and getting ready because they have a big game tomorrow night. They have a back-to-back. They go to Milwaukee and they travel right over to Chicago tomorrow night. And that's another game that I really want to cover because I feel like if the Bulls are who they're supposed to be, they should be in that game too. The excuse for them yesterday was that they were coming off a back-to-back and like that the game meant a lot more to the Nets. So I'll take that. But like I said, if the Bulls are a perennial team, I want if they get blown out tomorrow by the Warriors, I'll know everything I need to know. Put it that way. All right, man. And last but not least, before we get out of here, I gotta talk about these young Bulls, man. Not the Chicago Bulls, but I gotta talk about these Memphis Grizzlies. I promised my boy Malik that we weren't gonna do another show without giving Ja Morant his flowers and proving his case for MVP. But man, the Grizzlies are not playing with anybody. And Ja Morant is screaming that at the top of his lungs. They played tonight. They beat the Minnesota Timberwolves 108-116. And Minnesota, they got as much as you can get from their big three. Granted, no one else did anything, but D'Angelo Russell had 29 points, 6 assists. Anthony Edwards, I love him. I love Ant, man. We gotta do a breakdown about Anthony Edwards very, very soon. I love Anthony Edwards. And Cat had 25. No one else did anything, granted, but Grizzlies just found ways to win. Ja Morant didn't have a crazy game. He had 16 points. He had 16 points. He shot 16 shots. He was 5 for 16, 0 for 7 from 3, 6 for 7 from the free throw line, 8 rebounds and 9 assists. He's going to find a way to impact the game. Desmond Bane, 9 for 9 for free throws. Jaren Jackson, 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 blocks. Man, they just get minor contributions. And when you play with confidence and you play with grit and like real toughness, not fake toughness, real toughness, like playing with toughness, like between the lines, not like after the whistle's being blown and it's like some confrontation, you about to act like you about to fight somebody when you know you aren't. Like they really, play with a chip on their shoulder, man. And like it's been a while since I'm not gonna say it's been a while since I've seen that, but like from just like a young team. And you would think by how they move and how they execute and how they defend that they have like either a veteran coach or a veteran leader, but neither is true, man. They're just different, really just different. And hold on, I want to bring up some of these numbers. Memphis, they're winners of 11 straight. That's a franchise record. And Jaren Jackson Jr., he's the first player with 3 straight games of 20 points and 5 blocks since the Pelicans' Anthony Davis in 2018. And I just kind of want to break down some of these. Some of these numbers of like how Memphis is basically getting it done. All year they've been the best rebounding team in the league. All year they've been leading the league in rebounds with averaging 52 a game, and they're leading the league in offensive rebounds, and they're leading the league in second chance points. So when you're getting rebounds, when you're leading the league in defensive, offensive, and second chance points, and you playing defense, you getting more shots at the rim. This is why they winning. Like, coaches try to drill this, like the simple stuff about rebounding and things like that. But when you got young guys buying in, you get more possessions, you win games. And like that has a large part to do with like their rebound has a large part to do with their roster. You know, Steven Adams, Jaren Jackson, Ja rebounds, D'Anthony Melton, Kyle Anderson, Brandon Clark, like they all get rebounds, man. And another thing they've been doing, they've been locking up. During their 11-game stretch, the Grizzlies have had the third best ranked defense. And they only given up 104 points a game. So, you know, they rebound 104 points per game per 100 possessions. And that's only behind the Mavericks and the Knicks. And yeah, and they lead the league. They lead the league in steals and blocks. It's literally a no-brainer why they're winning. They're leading all the defensive categories, all the rebounding categories, and that's a recipe for success. And the last thing we can really just talk about is just the excellence of Ja Morant, but that's really just self-explanatory, man. He's putting his team on his back. He's playing downhill. He's playing aggressive. He's getting teammates involved. And like I said, leading by example. And like I said, out of the teams that have, I guess, made a surprise run, like the Cavs, the Bulls, Memphis is like the only team that I really feel like can knock off a big-time team in the playoffs. And keep in mind, the Memphis, they're a young team in the West, too. There's no slouch games in the West, man. Like, so, I'm a believer of the Memphis Grizzlies. And it's not just because they beaten us 3 times. There's other reasons. Like, they have the best record among teams with a top record. They have the best record against teams with a top record. I hope y'all get what I'm saying about that. But yeah, that's really all I wanted to cover here in this episode, man. Just a short little bit of games, and I wanted to, show the Grizzlies some love for how they've been playing. And that's really about it. And get an episode in with y'all. But like I said, I want to thank y'all again. Everybody who subscribed, everybody who's been actively looking at the videos and giving me feedback and giving me advice. And again, I want to thank the people that stayed on me and pushed me and told me to keep doing this. And we're not going to stop. Episode 3 is coming out Saturday night. Look for it. Last time I was on here, I was telling y'all that we were going to have big surprises and that, they were going to be on episode 3 and 4. Now we got official dates. Episode 3 is coming Saturday night. Look forward to that. I would really enjoy and appreciate if a lot of people tapped into that episode, because I've really been taking a lot of notes and putting in a lot of work into that episode. So I hope y'all enjoy that. And look forward to episode 4 early next week, Tuesday night. And I think that's a wrap. Episode 2.5 of TR3LAND. 3, I'm out.
I'm coming, my baby. Forget a crocodile burger, my baby. Show you a lick, now you working, my baby. You fuck on me and feel personal, baby. Trust me, it's coming full circle, my baby. The dash in the bands is virtual, baby. You seeing